Yeah, I Loctited the shit out of it. That thing's not going anywhere. I put a washer behind it and tightened the shit out of it with Loctite.
That's a failed water pump right there, son.
It's the quick drain feature.
Yeah, look.
Oh god, that bearing is fucking shot.
And it's funny. Like,
You drove it home on that?
I drove it home like that only because it hasn't been leaking, but obviously the overflow tank's going to be empty after this. I mean,
yeah.
It literally, like, I could pop this radiator cap. There's no pressure on this system at all. Yeah. Sorry about the antifreeze on your floor.
Do you think I care that much?
So we're going full-blown Hercules trying to get the bad cap off.
Alright.
So we got one of those.
Ah, got it. Just need a little bit of grit.
I mean, my hand wasn't slipping.
Now let's see.
Let's just see how much coolant it puked out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some in there still.
Actually, yeah, no.
I take that back.
Yeah, no. I could see the top of the core.
All right.
Yeah, okay, it's empty.
Oh, it's draining more now. It's leaking more.
Where is it leaking from?
All right, so
Shine the light under the car. Is it even going into the catch can?
yeah, no, it sounds like it.
Some of it's dripping on the floor. Where's it dripping from? Is it dripping from the water pump?
I think so. So why don't you give them a rundown on what just happened earlier?
I hope it's dripping from the water pump.
Guess I have to get on my knees. Looks like it's coming from the center, so.
Okay. So, basically, I've had a interesting sort of knocking / ricer taking off in the distance noise been going on and off for about a month now. And, as it turns out, it was the water pump. Luckily, I made it home from school and then it started puking coolant pretty much as I pulled in my driveway. If you'll notice, this is not my house. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is not my garage. This is actually Brian's garage, which is really clutch because it's snowing outside right now.
You can tell by the wet floor.
Essentially, I've been smelling antifreeze for the better half of a year. Pressure tested, nothing ever happened until I did the shake test on the water pump, but we'll get more into that later.
So, like, I'm not kidding. This kid literally pulled into my garage, and I looked under the car. He goes, pop the hood. I say, I smell antifreeze. He goes, yeah. And I just hear a puke, like it puking, and I look under the car, and the car's just puking it out the front.
Oh, yeah, no, we lost all of it.
Yeah, no, this thing's shot.
It was puking everywhere. Actually, believe it or not, it was puking enough where the belt was slipping. The alternator wasn't charging when I was coming to a stop. When I would take off, it would start charging again. So, total catastrophic failure of the water pump, and we're going to go into detail on, how to do it. Is it still draining?
Yeah, no, this is still draining. This is actually really
God.
bad.
Yeah, so it failed completely. All right, we're going to go eat some pizza, and then we'll get into this. So one of the convenient things about working in Brian's garage is that he's got one of these nice rolling toolboxes that some douchebag bought for him for Christmas.
Yeah, his name's like Paul or something. His name like Rather Be Boating 10.
Everything, look. Right there. Look at how convenient that is.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best things I've ever gotten.
This is probably going to be the smoothest, or actually I shouldn't say that. Now that I just said that, this is going to be the worst parts change I've ever had to do. As Brian fights with the fantastic GM quick clamps.
Yeah. Thanks, GM. Want to punch your
There's a
fucking
special
engineers
tool
in the
for
face.
that,
Yeah, that tool also costs money.
Yeah, it's true.
There we go. Now it's locked forever.
Great.
That's not going anywhere. I'll just leave that there for now.
No, they want us to hold to a budget.
Alright, those are never going back the way they were.
Okay.
They want to hold higher than a driveway.
If I get this off first.
Yeah, I've only ever pulled the one on the radiator off. What was that? Oh, it snapped back, okay.
So I guess it will come off eventually again. Oh my god, that...
Hold on.
Would you like a flathead?
Do you have a pan?
Yeah, there's a pan under there.
Well, Brian fights with that.
Alright, so there's one at the top.
Yeah, no, it's only at the top. There's one on each
Okay,
side.
that's just the trans lines after
Yeah,
that.
the trans lines pop out, and then...
You mean trans lines? You taking the radiator out?
No,
the trans
the
lines are
trans
clamped.
lines, there's retainer clips on the fan shaft. 10mm bolts. The burping funnel. Gotta spin it off the rest of it. So, note on your guys, you'll have to disconnect this plug here.
Brian?
I don't have a
You use it a little bit.
thermal. I have a thermal fan clutch instead of the electroviscous like these normally came with.
You want some special part?
Yeah, this kid's had to have everything different in the factory, you know?
It's gotta work.
Yeah. A lot more than average.
There you go. You're gonna be
Is there
fighting.
anything else on the side of it, or no?
No, it's just
getting caught on the rad,
the
the trans lines.
trans lines.
There we go.
And then you gotta sort of pull it around.
Did you cut that out?
Yes, I did.
Look at you. You knew this was gonna happen.
I've had that fan tried out enough times where I learned that that needed to get cut.
Is that why I had duct tape?
Yes, it is. Believe it or not, that air leak actually made a difference. And now you can easily take the belt off. This is the best time to service the belt.
But you're not gonna do that.
Why you did one of my seats?
Actually,
We took the
technically,
belt off.
If you consider the Dodge.
Don't worry about that. It's a good time to check the outlet pulleys. Good time. So right now, Brian's loosening the 13mm bolts that hold the pulley to the water pump.
We don't need no fucking extension.
At this point in time, I should note that you should have the battery disconnected for this, although we don't.
Living life on the edge, yo.
Yeah. It's the way I like it. We're edging. That was a bad joke.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you look down, you can see the trans filter I put in.
If you also look down, you can see the antifreeze that peaked on the ground in my garage.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't care. It's not my garage, technically. I love being a kid.
I can't read.
Vertotech. At your house and, like, you know, freezing our fucking asses off.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, oh, okay, are we done yet? Did you get that done yet?
Yeah.
No? Okay, I want to go inside. I'm freezing. I can't
Yeah,
feel my
like
hands.
when we did the radiator on the Escalade.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
So now this should just, hold on.
Okay, that's not happening. Just grab the...
Where's the pry bar? No, just here.
I was just gonna use this. It's not like it's
More
a really
leverage.
thing I care about.
The only thing Mac I own.
Now you have the, what's it called?
That's a Mac
Oh,
Co.
Mac Co. Oh,
That's pretty stuck on there. There you go.
All right, so
And now it's just the 10mm bolts that hold the water pump on?
yes, sir.
All right. Excellent. So there should be 5. That's 10 mil?
No.
I was going to say, that looked like half inch.
I love that I bought these because it makes my life finding tools so much easier.
Have you ever seen the inside of my toolbox? Not a single socket's on that.
Yeah, because like it's your toolbox, not mine. And like after how many years of working on vehicles and having to rummage through this shit just to find a single fucking
Well,
size.
okay, listen, it starts off the year set up right.
Yeah.
And then, you do a cam swap and all of a sudden shit hits the fan.
Well, when you're working in a garage, that's like,
Yeah, that garage should not be. Be careful, I don't need any broken off bolts in the block.
I know.
Just a side note, you're supposed to technically replace these bolts, I believe, when you do this.
They're actually kind of coming off with ease. Just a side note, I don't think you have to put any sealant on that gasket.
I brought the RTV because the general consensus on GMT Nation was to put a thin layer of RTV because it can't hurt.
Oh, God.
It's not something that you necessarily want to go back in and fix later,
Yeah. And if anybody's wondering, any mechanics out there, Stanley makes some pretty fucking banging wrenches, man.
Yeah, they do. So does Cobalt.
Yeah. I prefer these over all of my Craftsman wrenches.
Yeah, well, Craftsman ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, no.
I like the Husky stuff, man.
Yeah.
But I think the Husky stuff's also made by Stanley, so...
Husky, Stanley, and like 2 other companies are the same thing. Like the wrenches.
I think Stanley makes the entry-level Matco stuff because it looks very similar.
Yeah.
Like the Husky and the Matco stuff are very similar looking.
Before I went broke, I was actually looking
Either
at
that or it's right.
Before I went broke, I was actually looking at getting gear wrench adjustable wrenches, like the adjustable heads and stuff.
Gear wrench makes nice stuff too.
Yeah, no, I bought the ratcheting wrenches and I love them. I did the front end in a truck with them, and they came in handy.
Yeah,
Especially with that fucking dump truck. Oh my god.
yeah, that thing's a pile though.
It's really not. I think it just needs a fuel filter and the thing will run like a top again.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hold on. Why don't you just, hold on.
Yep. Hey, look, that's nice, and none of it went into the drain pan.
Hold on, let me just move it.
You're a little late.
Ooh, is that a silicone one?
Yeah,
No.
I put RTV on it. The old one, anyway.
Yeah.
So now we're just gonna scrape the old RTV off the. Just stop.
I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not at all. If you're too sensitive to be watching me doing that and that offends you, then get the fuck off
It's
this
okay.
video.
Anybody that would have been offended would have been offended by the massive expletives that have already been thrown.
Yeah, if you're like
Wow, look at how much belt residues just thrown on the side of the windshield washer jug. Look at that. God, I need to clean this bitch.
dirty slut.
Do you have a cookie cutter wheel instead of using that razor?
Cookie cutter wheel?
Yeah, like the little angle grinder with a scraper.
I do not.
Okay, well then keep scraping.
This is how we did it on the Dodge. By the way, any V6 Dodge Magnum fucking sucks. No, not doing the water pump, just sucks. Like,
I was talking to Capote, or Capote, as his
Okay.
name's actually pronounced. And he was like, how slow could it actually be? I was like, dude, the 0 to 60 is like 11 seconds.
this thing was a dog. I mean, it got faster when like somebody actually put a tune up at me.
Yeah, it went back to being an 11-second 0 to 60.
Yeah, not like,
That thing could not get out of its own way if you paid it.
yeah, no, it was really bad.
Absolutely pathetic. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, these trucks aren't that fast, but, like,
They move.
this thing felt like a race truck after driving that thing around for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, and since we're here, and we have the water pump out. Listen to this. I don't think I'm not 100% sure how water pumps are supposed to sound, but I don't think they're supposed to do that. While Brian's scraping that, I'm gonna come over here to the workbench. On top of that, there's all sorts of other crap wrong with it, like it clunks and there's play in it, and axial play and stuff. It's shot. So
It's like got the powdery soap.
see, this is the new one. This is the Delco.
That's sexy.
But notice, no weird noises. One thing you should always do, compare the old to the new. And looks pretty good to me. It's Lincoln Park.
I think so, right?
Brian's just hitting the water pump.
Yeah, you always want to
Mating
make sure
surface
your
with steel wool.
make sure all your gasket
Yeah,
surfaces
you
are
want
clean.
all your gasket surfaces perfect.
Because you don't want to be doing this again if you, like 2 days after you already did it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, taking things apart after
Yeah,
doing
after
the
you did
project
it the
once is
first
very
time.
frustrating because you
It's-
just don't want to
yeah.
do it. Like at first you're like amped up, you're like, oh yeah, I get to go work on my truck.
And then you're just like, wow, I forgot how much working on my truck sucks.
The reason I'm just wiping this down is because the steel wool I was using
Oh,
is
hey,
a
Brian.
wool.
Yeah, it's got it's actual.
It's actual like a sole soap one, so
what
it's got the
hell's
soap
the
on it.
Brillo pad. It's a Brillo pad.
Basically, yeah, but it's SOL in my pocket.
Getting yelled at by mom. So it's been a long time since I've ever flushed the system, so we're just blowing it out with some compressed air to get all the old coolant out.
We got the bulk of it out before, so now it's kind of
Yeah,
a little big trickle.
yeah. Nothing too crazy.
At this point, we're not really doing much, so.
Yeah.
If you were doing this
gonna-
right, you'd have the drain pan where it's supposed to be. We kind of blew it all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the floor. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
this is gonna get swept right into the driveway, right into the ground. I mean, just kidding. It's gonna go into a pan where it's gonna get properly disposed of.
Alright, well, let's get the rest of the coolant out of the radiator. Pull off the lower rad hose and drain that. So, if you look on page 5-104 in your owner's manual, you can see the capacities for your systems. And for the cooling system, you're at 13.9 quarts, which is a little over 3 gallons. Almost 4. 3.5-ish, something like that.
Gotta show you guys something. I swear I'm a virgin.
That's funny. No, but let's get the lower rad hose off now and drain the rest of the coolant into the pan. I have the pan strategically placed underneath, and I'm not going to be able to do that from up here, so you're going to have to go underneath. Good luck.
I'm getting cardboard.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm so surprised when you texted me and like, oh, do you want to do work on Trailblazer? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I thought to myself, I'm like,
Is that Neverseas on that, or is that paint?
that's paint. I
Oh,
painted
okay.
I painted the hubcap for the ARs.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see how it looked. Actually, I have to post them on the forum. Sneak peek if this comes out beforehand. If I ever post it, I don't know. Yeah, look, it's dripping more. I can see. Ow. Alright, well, glycol in the eye doesn't feel that good.
No, it doesn't. Ethylene glycol
Yeah.
with some alcohols and other things. Thanks, GM.
Why couldn't these just be quick? Not that these aren't quick clamps, but
Regular hose clamps.
yeah, you know.
Because
Actually-
you can't over tighten these. What was that?
I think it was just it locking, maybe.
Don't break my radiator, man.
That definitely wasn't the radiator.
Better not be. So you're supposed to replace the radiator hoses when you do stuff like this. Whoops.
Falling on a budget, bitch.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm pretty sure these are the factory radiator hoses on this truck.
It still has the GM stamp on it.
Okay, well there you go. My whole thing is if it's not dry rotted and it's not like cracking, you're good.
You see, I know I can get it off. It's just...
That's what she said.
Oh my god. I just don't want to get antifreeze all over myself, and...
Also what she said.
Alright, so...
She likes to work on cars, I've been
okay.
told. Okay, you're not even close to being underneath it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, you're going all over the place. That was, that was a mediocre attempt at not spilling it everywhere, everybody. Oh, man. Stick the funnel back in. Okay, blow it out. Alright, so that all I was doing was just pouring some water in there and blowing out the block to get most of the old antifreeze out.
Born in New Hampshire.
RTV on the gasket. You may have opinions on this. I'm doing it just because why not? Go ahead, bro.
Alright, let's figure out how this bitch goes in.
Clock, keep going. Keep going. There you go.
Ah, there we go.
The torque spec on these bolts is
89
inch
pounds. Inch pounds. Yeah, I knew that.
I don't believe you have to run RTV in on the bolt threads. I believe the bolt threads are hidden so they won't leak out through them.
Remember, start hand tightening your threads, your bolts before you put them in. Mm-hmm. Make sure you don't cross thread. 'Cause that's not fun.
No, it's not.
And if you can tighten them in a little bit, and they suddenly stop, you're okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's just
Yeah.
gunk in the threads. Don't think you're cross-threading.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop. Okay. Sorry.
Alright.
I'm sorry about your garage floor.
Sorry about it.
Feel bad.
If anything, it's my fault. I'm the one who offered.
It's true. Never mind, it's Brian's fault.
Yeah, I offered without even asking.
It's fine.
I figured you guys would
Sucking the
say
water
yes. She would have been doing that if you weren't here anyway, and her car was in the garage.
So I'm actually helping.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're cleaning. Clay calls some kind of cleaning property, right?
I don't know.
Ah, well, you know,
Probably
we'll
not.
pretend it is. All right, so now we're gonna tighten the bolts in a star pattern to 85 foot-pounds, inch pounds. I'm just gonna get them a little more snug on each side in a star pattern because that's the way you're supposed to do it.
Technically, you're not supposed to be tightening with this extension either, but
Look at that, it's right up right.
We'll give it a little extra oomph.
oh no, it's fine. Trust me.
Ozzy's first album, Blizzard of Oz, was released September 20th, 1980.
Okay, so then the singles would have been like a couple months before that. Okay. Well, that explains why that was like my dad's stuff through high school.
Oh yeah, Ozzy?
Just so you know, this isn't torquing yet. This is still
Yeah, no, this
tightening.
is just snugging.
Well, don't you have a rewards number?
Yeah, I used it.
You used it?
All right, so now we're gonna torque all these.
Click. 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 Other one.
Yeah. All right, and now we're gonna go over all of them and
You
check.
didn't do the top one.
Pretty fucking close.
Yeah. Click, you did tighten.
All right, start it. Let's see if it works.
There's a couple other things. Does the water pump move freely? That's one thing I was told to check by the... No, I'm talking like just rotating it. Ah, okay, excellent.
Yeah, it's just about as much tension as you want.
Yeah. It should be freely with minimal resistance.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that?
A water pump.
Oh, that's the water pump?
Yeah. It's a cute little thing, huh?
Sorry.
The one in my truck's smaller. I'm pretty sure just about the same size because gear driven, yo.
Alright, let's get these radiator hoses hooked back up.
All right.
Ah, it's not going anywhere. Alright, so since I've pretty sure I've never changed the antifreeze in my truck, I am also gonna do a radiative flush. So I'm gonna add this and just refill with water, distilled water. So we'll do that now. So I just dumped coolant into it. I mean, well, water, and I got about 2 gallons, which should be 8 quarts in it, which obviously it's going to take more once it starts to run and burp. But for right now, we're topped off. So now I have the water pump in, but the fan's staying off because I want to run the flush through it. I figure since it's cool out, as long as I drive around as in I'm moving and I have the heat on, it shouldn't overheat in 30-degree weather as long as it stays moving, just to go up and down the block just to get it up to temperature to circulate the fluid. Because then I'm going to drain this back out and put the Dexacool in. And this is also the check for leakages or anything like that as well. So Brian's going to move his truck and then we're going to go for a test ride. So now I'm going to teach you how to burp it, which I'm doing this with water. It's the same process for antifreeze. You want to crank it up, Brian? The key's in the ignition. I'll yell if it's the belt shoots off or something weird.
I'll bump it really quick first.
Okay, that works. It's gonna start though.
I know I'm gonna bump it. I'm gonna do exactly what I did with Don.
All right.
I did the one with the parking lot.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, heat all the way up. Just leave it on your face vent, I guess. You could turn the AC off, because that's not going to work. Is it charging?
We got no lights. It says 11 volts.
No, that's not right. Look at the dash gauge.
14.
Okay. Nah, just leave it. The OBD plug thing should be on the floor. You can plug it back into the port if you want. that should be fine. So Brian's jacking up the truck to do the oil change. We just got back from the ride. No leaks, which is nice.
She's fucking minty.
Coolant, pretty full. Truck's warm. I obviously drove it without the fan clutch. Ran like a top. We're gonna tackle the thermostat after Brian's done changing the oil. I think him changing the oil give it enough time to cool off to pull the thermostat. So now that we're going for the thermostat replacement, I have let the truck cool off some after the test drive, and I'm going to drain out the radiator flush now. And hopefully not spill it all over the place.
Keyword hope. You sold it.
Of course I did.
Thanks for the heads up.
I think most of it went in.
Dude, like, no. No.
Yeah, no, most of it went in.
Keep telling yourself that.
I mean, it's better than what you did.
Yeah. Shut up. Shut up.
Keep mopping, bitch. Keep jerking your mop. That's not even how. It's not even how you wring it out. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm fucking done.
You said 13, right? You
No,
were
it
wrong.
might be 14 then.
Was it burn oil?
I mean, Brian, we just got.
Behind it? Like,
Yeah, like
further
straight
in?
in line, but back further.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
I know they did something. Not good.
You recording? Yeah. So, right now we're taking the alternator out for the lovely design of the thermostat.
Yeah.
I think I said previous in the video, I want to fucking punch every GM engineer straight in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
60
Yeah.
frames per second.
Yeah. Now this gives us like 11 minutes.
I don't have the part.
Uno.
Eh.
It's something.
Now the back one has my big 3 ground wire on it. So you've been warned.
Battery's disconnected, right?
Yeah. See? Disconnected.
Alright, so it's in line. There it is.
Yeah.
It's a little above.
Yeah, so when you're doing this, you might not have all this stuff out, which makes it a lot easier.
Brian, where did you buy that Pine Belt or GMC? Jim Curley.
Pine
Pine
belt.
belt.
Pine belt's.
So Brian's taking out the bottom bolt on the alternator, which will then allow us to get to the thermostat, hopefully.
Remember, ratcheting wrenches are your friend.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, invest yourself in a set of these. At Sears, these were on sale for me for like, maybe like 30 bucks.
Now, you have the same set I have, or you have the smaller one?
I have the smaller set.
'Cause
I only have
the
these.
set I got was like 50.
Yeah, mine's. I got the smaller set. I don't have the shorties. Alright, so.
That should be out. Yeah.
Now, is there anything still connected to the back of this?
Just the exciter plug and the battery positive wire for the charging.
I can pull this out towards me to get to him, right?
Yeah, it should. You kind of have to tilt it and twist it. Like there's a really weird.
AC wire's getting a little bit pushed, but not wire, but.
You're almost there. Alright, now you gotta get that disconnected, and then the charging wire is 10 mil. So I'll get you that. So now if you'll notice, you can see the thermostat. That is held in with two 10mm bolts.
Wow, that is a really fucked up bend.
Yeah. Alright, let's get on that. So it's really hard to see, but Brian's on there with a swivel on a 10mm, busting the top one free. And the lower one, I've been told the easiest way to get to it is to actually go through the fender well. Because you can see it, you just need a lot of extensions. So we might try that.
I'm gonna it's a little fucked up.
Brian's doing the right thing by cleaning the head on the bolt up.
It's a good idea to run the threads through it too.
Yeah, that's what I did on the water pump bolts. I just cleaned them up real quick to get the RTV out of it.
You should probably.
Yeah, when you do something like that, you should probably have it clamped, but we like to live on the edge. Nothing like a bolt coming flying at you off a grinding wheel, huh?
I've had that happen before, actually.
Yeah, that happened a lot too.
Yeah.
Alright, now Brian's going to attempt the lower one from up here.
I want a shorter extension.
Okay, he wants a shorter extension.
Because that'll give me like, this will give me like, maybe like a ½ inch less. I think that's what I need.
I'm just going to tell you right now, if you put a whole bunch of extensions on, you could go through the wheel well.
I understand that, but you really think I'm gonna listen?
Well, I mean, you got to do a torque spec on this too, and you can't do a torque on a angled swivel. You lose too much of the torque on the bolt. So,
Well, that's not right now.
okay. Good luck. Don't break it.
Go very, very slow. You actually can fuck something up if you go fast.
That's what she said.
Remember, kids, no matter how tight it is, it'll always fit.
We're terrible human beings. If you're still watching at this point, we're sorry. There is zero entertainment value left in this.
It is what, 12?
Yeah, it's almost midnight.
Well,
Oh, okay, that's definitely not going in the catch can. Brian is currently fighting.
it's actually coming off, so.
Yeah, but he's still fighting. The old one is on the left and the new one being on the right. So now time to start the installation process. I'll let you know what the torque spec is in a minute.
So now we are torquing the lower bolts to 95 inch-pounds. The lower bolt on the thermostat.
This is the amount of extensions that you'll need to make it work.
Seems pretty appropriate. See in there the thermostat. Yeah, so now it's probably like 12:15, 12:08. So, yeah, we'll get back to you. Gatorade.
On the camera, so here we go. Right now I have a gallon of straight non-50/50 Dexacool in the radiator, and then I just put a gallon of distilled water in here, and now we're gonna proceed to fill it up. You're not even close there, bud. You gotta tilt the alternator down more. There we go. Push it up.
How do you fucking do this alone?
Hold on. It's not crossed, right?
Dude, it's pretty. That's way too easy for it to be crossed.
Ah, okay. Is it even tightening?
Yeah, no, it's tightening.
Okay.
I just want to get the bottom one first.
I'll start the back one, I guess.
Education. Alright, we'll hit the ground.
That's good. Tight.
Oh no, I'm talking about like getting this in.
Oh, no, it's a 4.
At least you're one. Like, it seems like I can. Did you put the back one in?
No.
I guess that's not moving. Would you think I'd be better if I took this one, the first one out?
No, considering it started, it should help you line everything else up. I'd just get the wrench on it and start spinning it, and hopefully it threads in.
I'm just gonna do this the way that I. I'm really trying not to fuck up your AC line. Oh. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna ask you to do that.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like if I fuck with it anymore, I'm gonna break it, and I really don't want to do that on you.
So one of the things you'll want to check So you'll probably want to get one of these antifreeze testers. After you've let the car come up to temperature a couple times and cycle, you just suck up some antifreeze in here. And all it does is it's a check and the number of things that float determines the freeze protection. As you can see, I got 3, which is minus 10. So for me, that's pretty good. However, that also means that it's not a 50-50 mixture. That means that there's significantly more water than antifreeze, which isn't necessarily an issue. If you come look at one of these jugs of Dexacool, at 50-50, you should have minus 34 freeze protection and 265 boil protection. And that's under pressure.
$40 for a fucking funnel? Are you kidding me? When you're recording?
We're still recording, but it's fine.
How'd you put that in before?
Oh, you had to squeeze it.
You squeeze it in like that.
Hold on. No, that's not how I did it. I thought you were talking about the other way. When I did it, I did this.
That works, I can see.
Just don't hit it.